All right, I am going to see if I can share my screen. All right. Where is it? Here we go. All right. Welcome to Travel on a Budget. I made y'all a whole PowerPoint. So how much does it cost to travel? A lot of people who don't travel a lot, it can be expensive if you don't know like the tips and the tricks or how to hack a flight or how to hack or buy points and use your points to pay for your hotel rooms. The average cost of travel for a 7-day trip for a solo traveler is around like 1,800. For a couple, it's like 3,200, and for a family of 4, it could be 61 and up. Finding cheap flights. Sites like Scott's Cheap Flights, it allows you to find mistake fares. So let's say American Airlines was supposed to advertise a flight for $499, like $499, and they misprinted it and it's now $199. You can book that flight and they'll honor it. Sites like Hopper and Skyscanner help you find the cheapest days to purchase. I love Hopper and Skyscanner. If you have a mileage program or if you have like a credit card that's connected to your mileage program, like American Miles or JetBlue, TrueBlue, you can use your mileage to pay for your flights or portions of your flights. If you're a student, you can use StudentWise and it'll book your flights for a discounted rate. Generally, the cheapest days to travel are Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays. Fridays and Sundays, for some reason, are always the most expensive. January is the cheapest month to travel for domestic flights because that's like the end of our holiday season. August is the cheapest for international travel. Domestic flights will be cheaper 5 weeks before departure, and international flights will be cheapest 2.5 months before. And when you're booking or looking for flights, always try to use an incognito mode or clear your cookies from your browser. That way they can't track or see how much you're willing to spend on flights. Booking with miles. Most airlines have like a mileage program where you can earn miles, or so like Lyft did this promotion. I'm going to show you guys. Let me see if you guys can see it. Lyft is doing this thing where you can earn miles every time you use Lyft. Uber does the same thing, but it's with Marriott. This one is with Delta though. So if you fly Delta and you have a Delta Sky Miles, you can connect your Lyft account to your Delta Sky Miles account and you earn miles on every trip. Or you could purchase them. Normally, sometimes, depending on the mileage program, you have to have an existing amount of miles or a trip or book a trip with them before you can start buying them. And I am going to actually show you guys how to book or how to buy miles. So I have a crap ton of programs I joined because I like versatility. So let's say I wanted to use American Airlines. You go to your account. And you say buy miles. Okay, it don't like me today. I don't know what's going on. Here we go. So you can actually calculate how many miles that you can buy. So let's say you wanted to buy 25,000 miles. If it would act right. He was acting perfectly fine. We just gonna chop this up to Mercury retrograde. It's fine. But they also offer discounts. So you save up to 35%. So if you buy 5,000 to 54,000 miles, you get 20% off. If you buy 55,000 to 149,000, you get 25. And then the more miles you buy, the higher the percentage goes, basically. Now, with miles, they do have blackout dates. So normally the blackout dates are around the holiday times where you can't purchase any tickets with miles because normally those tickets are discounted. And now we're going to move on to hostels, hotels, and Airbnbs. There are a plethora of ways you can book lodging. Lodging is basically all about 100% personal preference. So for me, as a solo traveler, I don't mind staying in hostels. Some people don't like hostels. Some people like to stay in all-inclusive resorts. Some like hotels. Some like Airbnbs better. It's all about personal preference. Ashley likes all-inclusive. So with hotels, hotels are easier and they are I don't want to say the safest, but they do offer a level of they do offer like multiple layers of security. So you can't, like, people can't just knock on the door or just come to your room and open the door. Hotels also have reward systems that allow you to accumulate points and also buy points as well. This is something that I learned from someone, a passenger that I was flying with. And he was like, I don't buy, because I don't pay money for my hotel rooms. He was like, I buy points and I pay for my rooms via my points. And I was like, that is a good idea. I'm gonna steal that. And so he showed me how, because he uses Marriott. He's a part of the Bonvoy community. So are if you have like a Marriott account, let's see if this works for this one. You can also connect your Bonvoy account to your Uber account. So if you order Uber Eats, you get points. Like, so right now, as you guys can see, I have like over a little over 7,000 points. That's all from Uber, because I'm co-based in Newark. So whenever I use Uber to Newark, I get points too, which is really, really good for me. You can buy points as well. So you can buy 1,000 points for $12.50, and it goes all the way up to, I want to say, yeah, $1,250. That's for 100,000 points. So if you think about this, if you're planning a trip for next year, you can buy 100 points, and that's 8,000 points for $100. And then you can book your flights. I mean, you can book your hotel. And then with Bonvoy, they also have, when you're booking your hotels, or with Marriott, shall I say, whenever you're booking, let's say you want to go to Rome. So let's say we're going to Rome. Let's say we are going to go, what day? Let's say we want to go around like April for 6 nights. You hit done, you want to click use points and find hotels. And this way you can stay at like a Westin or St. Regis, and it's only 425,000 points. Now, when you, let's say you want to book the St. Regis Rome, when you book it, even if you don't have enough points, you can book it as long as you they'll say you additional points required with points advance. So it'll give you like a points advance where you could book it, you can save the room, but you have to have enough points within the next 6 days, or at least 14 days before your stay. So it gives you time to get the points, but you can still reserve the room. Airbnbs, I like Airbnbs, but because they're more of like a vacation rental. Therefore, if you plan on staying in one location for a month or longer, you can also rent out. You can either rent a room or rent out a whole place. Unlike hotels unlike hotels, Airbnbs and hostels, you guys have to pay for your own transportation. Whereas hotels, they'll have their own transportation. More than likely, if it's close to the airport, they'll have restaurants, or they'll have restaurants in the hotel, and they'll have excursions, people on site and on the property. But also with Airbnb, you can also book really, really inexpensive excursions as well. Hostels are basically a short-term lodging. It's like being in college. You're staying in a dorm and you have a bunk bed. They do offer private rooms sometimes, or private spaces, and the rooms can be either single sex or co-ed. This is cheaper if you're like backpacking through Europe. So because sometimes it's as low as $20 a night. The best hostel sites are Hostel World, Hostels.com, Hostels Club, and Hostel Geek. When you're booking your excursions, you always want to research beforehand. So me, I don't really go off of booking excursions. When I went to Venice, me and my mom literally just walked everywhere and anywhere. I think the only excursion that we did was the island hopping. We went to Murano, and another island. But it's also like, depending on where you're going, if it's a well-known excursion, you want to book beforehand, because prices tend to skyrocket more beforehand or afterwards. And also, you might want to also try to book through your hotels, because hotels offer discount rates. This is about being scammed. Don't get scammed. A lot of times when people travel overseas, a lot of scammers, especially like the taxis overcharge. To avoid this, you always want to ask the hotel or wherever you're lodging at for an estimate around how much a taxi costs from place to place. They'll always, if the taxi is a scammer, it'll say, oh, well, my meter's broke. Okay, well, I'll get out this taxi and I'll go to a taxi that has a meter that's working. Or when I went to Rome, they had people who were booking excursion, like walking around asking if you wanted to go to a tour of the mausoleum. And my mom was like, no, that's fine, because those were people who would scam you. They'll take your money, and then when it's time for the tour, they ain't nowhere to be seen. Also with taxis, they'll go say that your lodging is closed. In some countries, taxi drivers get a commission if they take you to a more expensive hotel. Like, the hotel will give them a commission. So they'll be like, oh, that hotel is closed. It's booked up, it's closed. I know a hotel, I'll take you there. And then the hotel will charge you, it'll be more expensive than the one that you booked. And then the taxi driver will get a commission. For pickpocketers, it's the spill on your clothes. You'll be sitting down minding your business, and they'll spill something on your clothes. And then while they're wiping you down, they're pickpocketing you. And the most popular one is the group photo one, where it's a group of you, and someone will be like, oh, you want me to take a picture of you? You guys look so nice. Want to take a picture of you? And then you're like, yeah, and you hand them your camera, and you go to take the picture, and you turn around, and they done walked off with your phone and camera. So don't get scammed. Things that people tend to overlook while traveling. I've heard cost of transportation. When I was in Venice, we had to from the airport, we had to take a bus. And then from the bus, because Venice is surrounded by water, we had to take a water taxi. And also, it costs, like, we had to have like a little Metro card. And a lot of people don't realize is that you're carrying around your luggage. And Venice is nothing but stairs or water taxi. So I literally had to carry all my luggage up and down steps into water taxis, I was like, I should have packed lighter. Another thing that people overlook is working internet or hotspots. If your phone carrier does not provide international service, or any in general, I always say get a hotspot, like buy like an inexpensive hotspot and get like an inexpensive plan, or just buy an international SIM card where you can have phone service. I have T-Mobile. I know like Verizon, T-Mobile, and I think AT&T, they have international plans that charge. T-Mobile has one because that's free because T-Mobile is owned by a European country. Changes in electrical outlets. So a lot of the time, especially if you're traveling in Europe, you'll need one of these. It's just a converter. I got this off of Amazon. It has 4 USB ports and it has a outlet for Europe, one for the States, one for Australia, and one for the UK in general. One thing you don't want to do is get stuck somewhere and not be able to charge your devices. Also, and another thing that people overlook is currency exchange rates. I find that it's easier and way more inexpensive to change currencies in the country that I'm visiting or going to a bank. But then at the same time, I don't want to take all that cash with me because you have to declare it and all that stuff. And another thing that people overlook is medications. A lot of medications that we have here in the States isn't available or readily available in certain countries. So always pack like Tylenol, Advil, Motrin, whatever painkillers, or even have like a side of antibiotics that you can bring with you. Any questions? Questions, comments?
Girl, that plug is awesome. That would have definitely came in handy,
Amazon.
especially
I have a link I'll share with you guys. I'll send it to you guys.
Yes, I was gonna say, because when you're in like, say you're traveling internationally, you're at an airport in another country, it really and you need to charge your phone. That's hard. So that would have definitely come in handy. That's great.
No questions, but that was a really good presentation. I'm a bargain traveler also, so I was aware of some stuff, but you definitely showed me some new things like the points. For some reason, I thought you can only accumulate points from buying trips. I didn't know you could actually buy points right out.
Yeah. When the guy told me this, because he's what we call a mosaic, which means he's like he up there, and he was like I don't pay for hotels, and I was like, what? I was like, what you mean? He was like, I buy points, and that's how I book my hotels, and I was like, you could buy points? He's like, yeah, let me show you. He showed me. I was like, I have been missing out on this my whole entire life.
So that's how. Oh, sorry, I just have one more follow-up question. So you were explaining that you can book the hotel with miles, but you don't have to have miles when you book it. Is that correct?
Yes. So with Marriott, they have a points advance system. So you can reserve and book your hotel. You just have to have either the points 60 days from when you booked or 14 days before you go.
Good to know. Thank you.
I don't have a question or I just have a comment about one thing you didn't mention. Some people, like personally, I have a timeshare. So what some people do, say I'm not traveling for a year, but I get my points. Some people will sell their points for their timeshare so that you can buy them. And then you can use your points to go. And the benefit in that also is that you can sometimes use those points internationally. That's what I do. Like when I travel internationally, usually I'm booking it through my timeshare, through my points, so I don't have to worry about it. But also then with these Disney Vacation Club, because I love Disney a lot, which you guys may not know. But people will also sell their points for that. So you can book those, you can buy those and book them for not just Disney World and Disneyland, but also the cruise.
I was just gonna add that, I'm a Bonvoy member, and I stay at Marriott with points all the time, and I buy them too. But another way you could get points is sometimes if you sign up for certain credit cards, you can sign up and get Marriott points. Like it'll be like an extra bonus, like 100,000 points. So, and they go a long way. Like I had almost a 500,000 points, and I still